Instead of a full grid of 26 cars, there are only 14.
The 1982 Formula One season was truly one for the books. There was a lot that happened in this one season, and today we'll be taking a look at the 1982 San Marino Grand Prix. Heading into this race, there were already high tensions in the paddock. There was a disqualification of Nelson Piquet and Keke Rosberg from the Brazilian Grand Prix, as they were found guilty for having their cars run underweight. See, this was during a time when the FISA teams were using new and improved turbocharged engines, while most of the FOCA teams were still using Ford Cosworth DFVs, which weren't as powerful. So come the Brazilian Grand Prix, the FOCA-aligned teams found a loophole to the weight requirements by bringing water-cooled brakes. They fit the cars with large water tanks, which were supposed to hold the water to cool the brakes. However, what they were really doing was they were emptying the water right at the start of the race and then refilling it after the race was complete, just before the cars were weighed, which resulted in the cars running under the mandated weight limit. Now, this was not illegal, it just was a play on the rules, but the reason it brought so much attention and so much issue at the Brazilian Grand Prix is because Nelson Piquet, who drove for Brabham, won the race, and Keke Rosberg, who drove for Williams, came second, and they were both FOCA-aligned teams, while Alain Prost, who drove for Renault, which was a FISA-aligned team, came third, so obviously, Renault immediately protested the results, which led to the disqualification of the top two. So when we come to the San Marino Grand Prix, the FIA announced that all cars would be weighed before any liquids were added, which caused an uproar for the FOCA-aligned teams, as they felt that FISA was yet again moving the goalposts, so they announced a boycott, which all the FISA-aligned teams agreed to, excluding Tyrrell, who broke the boycott due to them securing Italian sponsorships who wanted to see them race. The race only saw 14 cars take place, but things don't end there for San Marino, because then we do have the controversy of the Ferraris. Renault locked the front row after qualifying, and then Ferraris closed off third and fourth. However, in classic Renault fashion, their cars failed, and during the race, the Ferraris ended up taking the lead with Villeneuve ahead of Pironi. Now, the two drivers for Ferrari were competitive, and they were racing each other the entire time, overtaking each other for the lead up until the closing laps of the race, when Villeneuve was leading to win. Ferrari signaled for their drivers to slow down, essentially initiating team orders to keep position. However, Pironi thought that they were free to race, and he overtook Villeneuve on the final laps, which caused trouble between the two. Villeneuve thought that the order they were in was the order they would end the race in, so when Pironi overtook him, it came as a shock and as a betrayal to him. And after the race, he went on to say, "I'll never speak to Pironi again in my life," which tragically did come true, as the following race 2 weeks later at the Belgian Grand Prix, Villeneuve tragically passed away after an accident during qualifying. This was a huge shock to the Formula One world, and the San Marino Grand Prix definitely caused a shake when it comes to FISA and FOCA.